Hey everybody, this is Craig Cottle, Director of Nature Reliance School, and we're here for another knife review. What I've got with me today is the Woodlore from Bright Forest Forge. A good friend of mine makes these knives, and he sent me one to try out and play with and give him some feedback on. So we're going to take a look at it. If you've been following me regularly on YouTube, you'll note that most of my knife reviews are like everybody else's, and the last couple that I've done, I've been trying to do things a little bit differently, and I'm definitely going to do that today with this knife. What that is that you can go to the website, and I'll have links for Bright Forest Forge for all the details. The specs, I'll discuss those briefly. But I'm going to start doing a little bit more education along with the knife reviews, meaning I'm going to go out and show you how to do some things that a lot of guys don't know how to do. And in that manner, we get to learn something, and we learn how well this knife is going to work. So we're going to utilize this knife to do it today. So glad you joined me. So again, take a look at the link for Bright Forest Forge in the description below, and you'll get all these details. However, let's take a real quick look at them because it's important. It's a Kephart inspired blade. Most everyone knows who Kephart is, and if you don't, Bright Forest Forge has a few little details about his life and how he came up with designs and stuff of that nature, so it's pretty interesting. This knife has an overall length of 9 inches. The handle is 4, meaning the blade itself is 5. The cutting surface is right at 4 3/4. So you got plenty of blade on this spear point to do whatever task you want it to do. It does everything you need it to do in bushcrafting and more. Batoning wood, making feather sticks, cutting traps, any number of things that you needed to do for bushcrafting, this knife is going to do it very easily and handily. But what I want to do today is show you what I normally do with a chainsaw, and I'm going to do it with this knife. So follow me over in the woods and we'll see what we can come up with. So I do everything I can to be a conservationist as much as a hunter. I enjoy hunting, and I'm constantly trying to figure out ways to give back to wildlife, biology, whatever it might be. And I'm going to use this knife to do it today. Again, usually I use a chainsaw to make quick work of this, but this knife is going to do it for us too. But in essence, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build with this little tree right here, this little cedar tree. I'm going to build a ground nesting structure. I do this a lot when I do habitat improvement for various woodlot owners. I do it quite regularly. But in essence, what we're going to do, we don't have to kill the tree to do this. I am going to cut a few of these branches off, and I usually do that about 1/3 of the way up the tree. Sometimes the cedar trees already have all the branches off of about 1/3 of the tree up. And pine trees, you can do this too. You've got to choose a species that's an evergreen. You'll see why in just a moment. It's going to be a living nesting structure. Instead of just taking forest debris and making a nesting structure, again, I'm going to take all the branches off. I can baton with my Bright Forest Forge knife here to get this done and skin it. Now, what I want to do is wherever I want to lay this nesting structure down, I put a mouth on that side of the tree. So I'm going to lay it down right by that dead log, which will be a nice structure for grouse, any number of songbirds that do ground nesting, woodcocks even. Maybe even a rabbit. You can use as big a tree as you want to. You can do this a chainsaw on a tree that's got a 14-inch diameter if you want to. But in essence, what I'm going to do is I make that mouth as if I'm going to cut the tree, but I go 2/3 of the way into the tree to do this. And what's going to happen is the tree is going to lay down and the mouth is going to close. By doing that, that will eventually grow back together, and the tree is going to stay there alive and last for a number of years. So I'll show you how to do this. Again, I'm just cutting about 1/3 of the way into the tree, and I can do that by carving it. Just take quite a bit of time. Or I can baton as I was doing, which makes short order of it. What you don't want to do is get to the point where you cut all the way through, because effectively killing the tree, but I'm pretty close now. And what happens a lot of times is once this gets done, the tree wants to fall this way. Don't let it do that because that'll cause a lot more damage to it. But you can force it down. Now, it's still going to live. In essence, the mouth has come together, and I can even open this up a little bit more, or I can pile more debris. Usually what I do after putting my knife away is I'll take the debris that I've cut off, add them to the tree that I just cut down, maybe add a few more debris, and then what I've got is my ground nesters can get underneath here. They can take care of their nest, take care of their babies, have a lot of cover, add more cover to it if you want to, and this tree will continue to do this for years to come. I haven't killed the tree, works exceptionally well, and at the same time, I don't have to come back and do this over and over and over again. It's there for them, it's there for me, and because I'm a hunter and I'm providing more nesting structures for wildlife, there will be more animals here, which means there will be more opportunities for me to hunt them. So that's how we work in a symbiotic relationship together. For me to help take care of them, they help take care of me. All right, so I'm gonna use this Woodlore to dig in here and look for some grubs in a minute too, but I also, in the meantime, wanna show you something else. Mr. Moore hand forges these blades and flint strikers and any number of other tools. You need to check out the website, see all that he does. But these flint strikers are unique compared to what you normally see. And I know it's sunny, it's gonna be difficult to see, but these things spark like a boss. I don't know what else to say. But they work exceptionally well. They're easy to hold. It's easy to do these and not bust your fingers up. And so these little guys are really functional tools. He sent me one of these too. But check out the website for Bright Forest Forge because he's got a number of different blade styles as well as other very unique Japanese martial arts inspired weaponry too. So you can check those out on the website. But one of the things I do like about his hand forged blades, again, it's an eighth of an inch thick, hand forged, tough as nails. And so I have no problem using this little guy to dig. The point, I've tried to break the point off of it. I've had this knife for about 3 or 4 months. And well, there's a little nest right there. But all kinds of stuff that you can do with this knife, and you're not going to break it. You're not going to chip it. I've tried to chip it. I've tried to break it, and it just is not happening. So you can be guaranteed that they're very well put together. So check out Bright Forest Forge, and remember, as always, in your bushcrafting, in your survival training, whatever it is that you're doing, always consider the outdoors, because if we just continually go out and abuse it, there's not going to be any left for the next generation or the generation after that. So always consider, as you're working with your tools, don't be cutting a lot of live stuff down unless you absolutely have to. Use material that's already dead and you're not going to cause damage to it. And at the same time, do everything you can to help the biology, the herbaceous material, the woody material, set up itself to have success. You can do that. You can work cooperatively with it. And that way we again have the ability to go out and enjoy the outdoors and utilize fantastic blades like the Woodlore from Bright Forest Forge. So this is Craig Cottle with Nature Reliance School. As always, come on, join in. Let's learn together.